All right, welcome here, you genius. So you declared that you are officially a genius. Hey, that is great. We're going to show you some great next steps. Remember, you can choose your adventure anytime that you would like and go backward at any time if you feel that this is just a little over your head. Or you may just really geek out with me on it because I love this stuff. So at the genius level, you've spent over $2,000 on Facebook ads. I mean, you know your control numbers for all your important KPIs. You know it influences one number to the next. And you're looking to further grow your lifetime value, either the short term or the long term. Again, it's really about driving value, both to your audience and monetarily. We're going to pay attention to steps 7 through 12 here. It's going to double the lifetime value of a customer within 30 days. And the ad platform will automatically target your perfect customer for you. Now, let's make this really fun and easy. I want you to meet Bob and Jane. See, Bob and Jane have a local brick and mortar, and it's called Launchers. You see, Launchers basically sell, well, toy model rockets like you see right here. And we met Brian in the beginner section. Brian took us through the first 3 steps. And then we met Ian. Ian took us through the intermediate. That took us through steps 4 through 6. Now we're talking about steps 7 through 12. So I want you to go ahead and meet Gene. Now, what I mentioned before with beginner and intermediate lessons is, look, Bob and Jane at any time, they can apply these genius methods. Now, they got to learn some basic foundations first, or they can hire someone like Gene. They don't have to have a doctor or be a high-level expert to know on exactly how to scale their business. Now, I want you to keep this in mind, and I tell every entrepreneur this. I feel one of the most valuable things that you can have in your disposal and in your power as an entrepreneur is to have an idea and know how to test $500 to $1,000 to see if that idea is even worth pursuing or building a product on or running ads on. See, once you know how to test those ideas, you know exactly what to expect and what to inspect if you hire someone else to do it. So either business owners, pay attention and go through this and you can do it on your own, or have one of your staff or an outsourcer read through this part of the training. Either way, we're here to help you. You can do it. Let's talk about some basic foundations first about launchers and the scale method. You see, these 4 foundational things we're going to talk about in a minute, we call them the keystones. I mean, it really holds everything together with the scale method. Number 1, product, service, messenger idea. I mean, I know that you already have a product, service, messenger idea that you're monetizing, and a perfect customer avatar. You're probably at genius level already doing that. Now, the scale method, we'll go over the 12 steps, but number 4 is each step, well, it's always going to have proof. So we always know, did it work, or did we successfully prove that it just didn't work, which means we just won't do it again? Ideally, you're gonna need to sell a minimum of $100 within the first 30 days. Great, because in the beginner section with Brian said that Launchers has a starter kit for $100. Perfect. Self-assessment question. These are really questions for you to write down, and we'll talk about the answer. But this is clearly going to show you what steps you need to take next. How many offers are you making in the first 30 days of initial customer engagement? If someone watches a YouTube video, or subscribes to your YouTube channel, or follows you on Twitter, or likes your fan page, or visits your website, do you have any offers to offer in the first 30 days of engagement? Do you offer just one thing and then stop following up? Do you have 2 to 4 offers that you offer within 30 days? That's ideally what we consult customers on, is absolutely have 2 to 4 offers in that first 30 days. We cover more of those details inside the live scale method training. 5+ offers in a month, you can if you're segmenting properly. This 12-step process, we want to build step 1, step 2, then step 3, then step 4, and so on. It all compounds for momentum. But we don't want to skip any steps whatsoever. So, fair warning, this is really important. Brian talked about this earlier, but I'm going to talk about it now, which is here's a way that you can torpedo your business. Of course, we don't want you to do that on both Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, and Twitter. See, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Google, they really don't care about how much money you spend with them. They really don't. And they prove that basically by customer service. They don't care about your products and services. What they care about is when you run an ad on their platform or create a post, when someone clicks on that ad, is it relevant to that person? Do they go to the website? Do they read the website? Do they scroll down the website? Do they click to read another page? Do they opt in? Do they buy? Do they spend more than a couple of minutes on your site consuming great content? Or do they click on the ad, go to your site and say, oh, that is not what I was looking for? Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, and Twitter just want to give the end user the most relevant content they click on. This is going to be really important, and we're going to cover a lot of this in this genius section. Now, for example, like launchers, well, I mean, we already know who they're targeting, so they could target people with model rocket tips on how-to videos, and the latest blog posts. At least keep people engaged through the process. You're going to be posting on social media networks anyway, so why not just be creating regular content that your avatar will consume that they really like and then post it on social media? I mean, that's really what we should be doing in the first place, right? Here's the key thing, especially in the genius section. Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter have some of the smartest people working for them in the world. And they've developed these algorithms that know when someone clicks on this type of ad and they go to this type of site, what kind of experience that they have. They can predict this kind of stuff. See, what we want to do is we want to hand over the power to the platform. Well, they will target the most perfect person for us. People that we would have no idea to target. We want them to focus on scaling our business, but we want to make sure that we feed the algorithm the right information so it works on our behalf. It's really critical, and it's really all going to start with relevance. But I'm going to show you how that algorithm is going to do a ton of work for us. See, the thing is, we have to have a plan and then proof, right? You gotta have a plan and know what you're gonna do, and then we gotta have proof to figure out, did it work or not? So just so we're all on the same page, Brian talked about this early on, but I like to mention this, key performance indicators. So knowing your most important KPIs are critical to any successful campaign. Being a genius, I'm pretty sure that I'm confident that you already know what your average cost per website is, average cost per opt-in. So I ask people all the time, do you know your numbers? Do you know what an average like will cost you, or a website click, or cost per action, like a video view, or a page engagement, or cost per lead? What's your average cost per sale? Do you know these numbers? See, the thing is there's an important KPI driver to each one of these numbers. I want you to imagine that we're riding in a car together. Well, if we're riding in a car and you are driving, you're only looking at a handful of gauges as we're driving down the road. I mean, there's all these other components, the tires, the engine, the spark plugs, the wires, the gas. There's all these other components, but really we're just focused on these handful of gauges as we drive. I want you to focus that on your numbers as well. And I'm going to show you about some of these KPI drivers that are really critical, where you just adjust one or two numbers and it influences so many other things. First one I'm going to talk about is the major KPI driver, relevance score. Now, that's Facebook uses relevance score and they show you what that score is. Google gives you a quality score, and LinkedIn and Twitter, they're working on things like that, but they're really all focused on quality anyway. So anytime that we're making a decision, we want to imagine we're driving down this road, focusing on these handful of gauges, and everything that we're looking at is through the windshield, through the lens of relevancy. We want to make sure any ad we're putting out there improves the user experience from when they click on the ad and then go to our content. So Brian the Beginner taught us about clearly define avatar, identify 4 different interest clusters based off affinity marketing, run ads to these interest clusters. And we tell beginners, hey, start out on Facebook, Social Media Ad Genius. Some of you know us from that, from all around the world. We really show people how to get started on Facebook, what the strategies are, where the buttons are, and so on. And you can always click on that link at the beginner level to check out what that is. Well, we clearly defined our avatar with step 1. And step 2 is we started talking about affinity audiences with Brian. Now, just to bring everybody up to speed, really an affinity audience is a similar audience. So we know that we're targeting people who love rockets, right? The target avatar here was 13 to 18 years old who loves rockets. So we could also target people who have similar interests. So people who like rockets may also be flying remote control helicopters, or may love remote control cars. Or at the bottom left-hand side, they could be in the Boy Scouts and they're looking at getting their rocket badge. Or maybe their parents or them like NASA. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to run an ad. Now, please keep in mind the blue distinction you see around mobile, desktop, and right-hand side. See, we're going to split test mobile, desktop, and right-hand side separately. But when you see a blue line around these tests, or if you see any of these objects here that are blue, that means and signifies we're going to be focusing on content. So we're going to use mobile, desktop, and right-hand side with our affinity audiences to focus on content. Now, we're going to run those contents and we're going to build rapport and relevancy with likes, boost post, and video views. It's really a lot with like branding, right? We want to engage the audience, but we want to run this to like the latest blog post, how-to videos. Again, a way to start communicating with a brand new avatar. We're not just sending them straight to a sales page. Here's another self-assessment question. Do you currently have a set of control ads for testing? Do you know what the average cost per like is? Cost per website click to a piece of content? Cost per website click to a landing page? Cost per website click to retargeting to a sales page? Do you know what your average cost per lead is, or average cost per sale? It's okay if you don't know your control numbers, but obviously if you want to bring everything under control, you're going to want to know these control numbers. So is it just a yes or a no? And we can show you how to make sure that you always know your control numbers and what to do next. We spent a lot of time talking about retargeting, landing page performance, and follow-up. And again, this applies to Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, and Twitter as well. And really what we focused on is the engagement part of retargeting, custom audiences for relevance and conversions, and then heading people over to the next steps. See, we want to make sure that we're focused on retargeting with relevance. We want to build awareness and branding. We're going to align the avatar's beliefs. We want to build rapport, show people why we're the expert, provide next steps. So for instance, like launchers, for instance, like Rex over here already liked the page. Well, now if we show him a picture of a model rocket, he may start getting really excited about the page, or at least excited about the content. I want to just spend just a moment to talk about retargeting and custom audiences. See, we use mobile for likes, boost posts, and video views, and it's a huge KPI driver for us, and it works for engagement. It helps increase relevance. So we're going to focus on relevance with mobile. We're going to retarget to build trust and brand rapport with mobile. See, what I want to do is I want to make Rex really happy over here. I mean, look at that smile. I want to show him really cool stuff that he's really interested in. Retargeting and custom audiences. Notice down here I'm talking about next steps, because when we do all of this right, notice Rex right now with his finger on the buy button. It's on being shown on a desktop. He's smiling and ready to buy. We make it easy and succinct for him to buy because we're following up in the right order. Next step to conversions is all about supporting content. Maybe they have testimonials of other people who have done it. Or maybe they're now understanding why is there a time urgency and what are the final steps. Now let's talk about landing page performance. Now notice that the affinity groups, the custom audiences, and the retargeting audiences, notice they're lined in green. That means we're going to be writing ads and copy to get people to move to those next steps. Now we're going to use website clicks and optimize for conversion. And as I mentioned with Ian before, website clicks is always what I use for the distinction for retargeting custom audiences and retargeting audiences. There's a whole long reason that we talk about on the live scale method on why you must run website clicks before you optimize for conversion. We're going to send people over to a welcome page, a content page, a page that lets them know about us, a page that lets them know the very first steps. So people are going to click on the ad, land on the page, and maybe they just click on the page and nothing happens. That's in red that you can see above Ian. Or they may become a lead. Or they may become a sale. So we want to start with relevance. Our landing page is not about getting an email right away. It's not about making a sale right away. We want to welcome new people. We want to align the belief system of our avatar. We want to build rapport. We want to provide next steps. If we give enough great content, asking for an email address is great. But we don't just want to send people to say, hey, buy my book for $10 because it's great. That's a disservice to people and it's not relevant. Start with relevance with these welcome pages in their first to make these 4 key steps happen here. It's going to make a huge difference in your long-term advertising. Because I mean, really the follow-up process that we covered with Ian, we're taking retargeting audiences, leads and sales. Step number 6, we're retargeting with website clicks. We're giving some content, sending them over to a content page, a lead page, and then following up with next logical steps. Again, they clicked on the page, or they became a lead, or they became a sale, and we retarget based on actions. We spend a lot of time talking about how to retarget on basic actions. Focus on next logical steps. Deepen awareness. Remember, website clicks for retargeting is the best next steps to get people to move along. Retargeting strategies. You're going to increase revenue 40+%. Increase exposure for branding. High relevance, lower cost. Leverage placement to continue the story and reactivate qualified clicks long term. I mean, think about it. If we spent all this time, steps 1 through 5, step number 6, we should always be retargeting these qualified avatars and clicks. Do you currently have a retargeting plan for content and landing page visitors? If you don't, I mean, you know you need one now. It's one of those plans you have to have. So key takeaways from me: follow up and segment, start retargeting qualified clicks, segment your clicks and email. We spent some good time on following up with clicks and email in our training with Ian, and follow up based on actions. Now, last time we left Ian, we basically said, we don't understand why people stop here. What the? Do people spend all this time qualifying leads and then just stop? That's really what this genius level is all about. These are really the steps 7 through 12 that I get really excited about because it's momentum. Step number 7 is a weekly content strategy. See, we want to take and run our affinity groups with content. We want to run them to weekly content. And we want to take our custom audiences and our retargeting audiences and run them to content as well. So for example, the key drivers here: boost post, video views, website clicks. We're going to run an ad, mobile, split test desktop, split test right-hand side, and send it to weekly topics like a video, blog, supporting documentation, or maybe we're commenting on a news story, which is called curation, or case studies. See, we want to take this content, step number 7, on a weekly basis and retarget our leads, or sales. I mean, our community members, retarget them with weekly content, keep them engaged. Target your best affinity market with weekly content. So if we found out that the affinity market, for example, of remote control cars are running really well, let's keep our weekly content in front of those people. target content pages. So send people this weekly content, and then we're going to retarget them to take an action. Build relevance. Let's make this fun and easy. Launchers. It ain't rocket science, right? Show these people who like remote helicopters some of these cool articles. Maybe they're going to read the article, really get more interested in your business. So genius retargeting for custom audiences and retargeting audiences. Retarget qualified clicks with weekly content. Engage leads and buyers with weekly content, right? Keep them engaged with your brand. Build on relevance. Build for new next steps. You're always moving people to that next event. So for example, as we're moving to the next event, look at Rex over here. He's all excited about the breaking news that Launchers is talking about this new crazy spaceship that just launched off. Look at his excitement. Now, people are going to visit the page. Either they're going to visit the page and not take any action, or they're going to become a lead. No matter if they visit the page and don't take action or become a lead, I'm going to retarget with website clicks. Now, my retargeting audience who didn't opt in is going to see a different message with website clicks, and my leads are going to see a different message with website clicks that I'm going to retarget on mobile, desktop, right-hand side. This is where the chemistry really comes in. Email engagement starts to happen. But the weekly call to action, this could be a sale. This could be a 10% off sale, a 15% off sale. This could be, hey, I just read this article. It's important that you read it this week. So here's a genius tip for the weekly content strategy. A qualified click is just like a qualified lead, even if it happened 2 weeks ago. Weekly content builds on branding. They see you with content. They know, like, and start to trust you. Weekly content is going to build value and rapport. Just because they said no once, or just because they maybe read an article but didn't buy, doesn't mean they're not interested in the subject matter. That's why we spend all the time qualifying the avatar. Weekly content is going to keep people engaged. Increase diversified exposure with content. You don't know what really appeals to the individual until you give them choices. Just like you have choices here to go to any spot in the training that you would like. Weekly events. See, when you have timed weekly events, people can depend on you and know when that new content's going to come out. Plus, let's be honest, it's going to be easier for you to track and schedule. And what's going to happen is it's going to lead to a weekly call to action. This is going to be huge. See, here's what happens. Step number 8, notice that this is highlighted in green. Notice that we're taking custom audiences, retargeting audiences and leads, and we are retargeting them to the weekly event. You see, we're no longer working with affinity audiences. Now we're only working with highly qualified individuals, and we are using language to tell them what the next step to that conversion is. Each week, build for the next event. JCPenney's and all these other stores, they have a different sale every single week. See, events can be either content or sales based depending on what your overall strategy is. Align with a clear call to action. Okay, you got people here. What should they do next so they can take action, either improving their business or improving their lives? Remember, no is never a permanent answer from someone qualified to consume your content and events. Just because they didn't read the first or the second or the third article won't mean that they won't read the fourth. We found many customers of ours may have skipped our low introductory offers and may have skipped the next training, which was a few $1,000s, but decided to join us after following us for 6 months and joining us at a $10,000 training. You just never know what works for that specific person, so keep following up. We don't really know what Rex is interested in. We don't know if he's going to do an upcoming workshop, but he likes rockets, and this is about how to create a rocket from a soda bottle, and well, it looks like he's pretty dang excited about it with that expression on his face. So see these weekly events? We want to send people who click on the page, we want to retarget them over to the weekly call to action. So they haven't opted in and they haven't committed, so our ad's going to be a little bit different, but we're going to run website clicks to get them over to that call to action. Again, this could be a weekly webinar, this could be just a weekly live event, it could be a weekly podcast, and leads, of course, are going to opt in, and we're going to email and follow up with them, and we're going to segment those emails, but we also want to follow up with those leads with website clicks as well, too. We want to make sure that we're getting the right exposure to our weekly call to action. Retarget non-leads with additional information to align beliefs and logical next steps. If we're talking about launchers, maybe we're talking about remote control cars this time. Maybe we're going to talk about how to earn a merit badge. But we want to align the beliefs of why it's important to use this product or service and the next logical step. Remember, retarget leads for reminders of upcoming events. We love to get people to opt into webinars, and then we follow up with retargeting ads to make sure they remember to get on the webinar. I mean, live webinars is the best way to train people, and it's the best way to take action. That's why we tell people, if at any time during the training, if you want to click on the left-hand side, click on the live scale method icon that you see on the left, take you directly into our live training. That's where we can really learn the most. I mean, you can always rewind and pause these videos, but to talk to someone live is huge. So you also want to target ads based on customer experience and keep progressing towards the weekly call to action. Now, this weekly call to action. So notice this is where we're taking our retargeting audience and our leads. Only people who have been interested up to step number 9. We're not targeting any cold market. This is where the money really starts to come in. Let's take a look. Retargeting audiences and leads. These people are already interested because they've already clicked on your content or they've already opted in. So we're going to take them to the next logical steps. Our our key drivers here are going to be boost posts, video views for branding, and website clicks. We're all going to test this. Keep in mind, if you have a smaller audience and below a couple thousand people, I usually just retarget with desktop because that's where people make a lot more buys than just mobile. Mobile buys are coming up, but I typically don't run mobile, desktop, right-hand side altogether. I usually am always splitting out either mobile or desktop or right-hand side. So we have that weekly call to action. It's a lead page, conversion page, or it could be like his UCG and the genius right here. He says, buy right now. See, this weekly call to action, you want to take people who clicked on the page, didn't take any action. You want to figure out what's that next logical step, like Gene's looking at over to the left. Well, we want to retarget that audience. We want to send a website click, retarget content. Notice that blue content. We want to take leads and follow up with website clicks where we're following up with content inside the ad, and click on the sales page as well too. But we're going to segment these people, the clicks, the leads, non-buyers, and buyers. Leverage qualified clicks to a call to action. Align messages with leads versus clicks. Notice how I was talking earlier. My message was a little bit different for someone who committed to become a lead versus just a click. No cold marketing going on with step 8. Nope, step 8 is just highly qualified individuals. Edify. Reconfirm, validate with clear calls to action. I mean, here's a great example right here. Once again, we see Rex with his finger on that ready to buy button, and he is smiling. He is all excited. And now he has the opportunity with the ad right here that says buy now launchers. That rocket right there, buy now. Let's talk about step number 10. This is buyer, non-buyer follow-up. This is where it gets really exciting. It surprises me a lot of people don't do this. We want to talk about the main drivers here. Now, these are people you just made the last offer in step number 9, and they clicked on the pages, but they didn't take any action. So we're going to retarget with video views and website clicks, and we're going to send them back to the weekly call to action. And if they're a lead, remember our ad's going to be a little bit different. They've already shown an interest because they've opted in. We're going to take them back to that weekly call to action. Well, if they become a buyer, use retargeting for buyers. I'm so surprised why so many people just don't do this. Use video views to retarget or website clicks, because with video views, you can build a rapport. You're not asking them to click on a website link. You're reminding them of, did you consume this bonus? Don't forget to take this next step. To get started, start doing this. Set expectations with your new clients who are onboarding with you. So lead, follow-up, and genius tips. Just because they did not buy this time doesn't mean they're not going to buy again. Follow up with those people. Follow up with non-buys with weekly content again. This is why we have the weekly content strategy. So there's always something in front of your prospects and your customers. I mean, a qualified click plus a qualified lead means just more solutions required for conversion. It just means the solution that you offer now, or the content that you offer now, just wasn't right for them wherever they are in the process of making a decision to buy or do business with someone like you. Just watch. Keep following up. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people tell me at live events, or they've walked up to me and says, Kurt, you don't know me. I have not liked, commented, or shared on anything. I became a lead about 6 months ago, but you said something last month that it really changed my life, because 6 months ago you got me started and looking at solutions. Last month you said something to change my life forever. I just thank you so much. I wanted to come to one of your masterminds. I'm glad that you finally offered that. Well, if I wasn't properly following up, I would have never had that conversation. Not only if I didn't follow up with that person not have taken action, but also they wouldn't have joined one of our masterminds either, where I know that we can provide more value. So segment your audience based on actions and or surveys. Here's a great example right here. Retarget with Rocket News 24, breaking news. Well, you can tell Rex over there is pretty dang excited about this content. Buyer follow-up and genius tips. Welcome your new customer. Engage with next steps in getting them started. Remind people of content, options, next steps. This will help decrease refunds, especially if you're in the online space and you're running a lot of advertising. Keep people happy. Increase user application and success rates. We offer programs and services for people to use them so they can get better in whatever they're doing. So again, like right here, it's a great way for Bob and Jane to welcome in Rex. See, welcome from launchers. Hey, great to see you. We love to do welcome videos for people who decide to become part of our Scale or Social Media Ad Genius families. Now, additional products and services. Step number 11, this is great. See, you've already started sifting people through affinity audiences, through different weekly offers. Now, we got to take a look at, okay, the audiences that we've built all the way to step number 11. They're highly qualified. They've seen lots of different parts of our content. These leads are highly qualified as well too. Well, we're going to follow up with video views and website clicks. Video views is going to help align the belief system. It's going to help us communicate with our avatar, and website clicks is going to send people back to the website that we want to retarget. So notice, the whole idea here is to keep people moving along. And we're going to retarget highly qualified clicks and leads. We're going to retarget them to payment plans. So for instance, if you offer something that's $297, retarget after a couple of days for payment plans. Or maybe you offer 50 videos at $297. Maybe you offer a splinter offer, which is maybe 3 videos at just $47. Before you send people over to joint ventures or other programs or other offers, make sure that you're giving your customers an availability to participate with you before they decide to move or spend money somewhere else. Now, even if they don't buy from you, and remember they're a non-buy, we'll just retarget with step number 7, the weekly content strategy for non-buys, leads, and clicks. Consider different ways to allow people to participate with you early and often. So they might not buy full price now. Now, the thing is we recommend payment plans, or we recommend what we say splinter offers, where you can offer small little pieces of content so people can get started with you. See, we want to do additional services and offers before we send people over to other joint venture list, right? Or other affiliate offers. Once I've presented all those offers and all the options that I have, then I'm going to refer you off to some other experts. I am not quick to release the new customers that we have into something different right away. I mean, I've spent time cultivating these people. I want to build a relationship, offer additional products and services before I send them over to other affiliate offers. Here's a perfect example. See, Rex over here bought a rocket. He was pretty excited. Now he wants to buy the latest gadgets. People love gadgets, right? Especially in the rocket business. So launchers advertised as a 50% off to check out this new gadget. This is exciting, a lot of fun, and very profitable. See, we've saved the best for last. See, what happens is a key driver right here for KPIs, fan page, retargeting audiences, leads, sales, conversion pixels, they can all be created into lookalike audiences. Similar audience for what they have over on Google. Twitter's coming out with the same thing, and so is LinkedIn. Is you're gonna be able to test between 1% and 9%. That is for similar to greater audiences. And Facebook, Google, and these other ad platforms will start noticing the people who are coming to your fan page, who are coming to your website, who are becoming your leads, and they start learning. This is where the magic really starts to happen. Now, I could talk about all the pro tips on how to test. I'm gonna encourage you to attend our live scale method presentation, because here's, I can get into even more specifics. I mean, literally I could talk about the chemistry here for just forever. I love this stuff. But what we do is we take our lookalike audiences and we run likes, boost posts, video views for content. We follow up with website clicks, lead ads. We use these ads to split test. We're doing money ads and content ads, and we're testing these lookalike audiences steps 3 through 5 because they become our new affinity audiences. Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, Twitter, they start doing all the work for us because we spent so much time on the previous 11 steps. See, what happens is they learn from us and they learn from our avatar, and they start targeting our most perfect people much more than us silly little humans could ever figure out about targeting. It's because we set it all up right in the first place. Now, there's some other pro tips by when you're running website clicks, conversion ads, the way that I run that compared, how I run the website click numbers, different than I run the conversion numbers. For example, if you're running website clicks, there's a certain set of metrics that I look at that have to be in a very specific order. But when I start running conversion ads, those metrics are completely reversed. It's the exact opposite of website clicks, and you have to know the difference between those numbers. I cover that on the live scale method training. Now, we're gonna split test that mobile desktop right-hand side, and we're gonna run these lookalike audiences, and we're gonna test them as our affinity groups, and we don't turn off our other affinity groups until these groups start outperforming them. They trust me, they will. Now, remember to get all these live tips too, just go ahead and click either on the screen that you see right here for the live scale method or in the bottom left-hand side of the logo. Spend time focusing on building out lookalike audiences. Split test similar and greater targeting. We talk about more of those details in the live class. Allow the AI to find unknown targeting. I mean, Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter, they have some of the smartest people working for them. Allow that artificial intelligence to work for you. Build with likes, spend time doing that. Build with relevance, then move to call to action. Move from blogs and content, then over to landing pages and retarget accordingly. Leverage the AI. This is where I literally could spend a half an hour in a mastermind, and some people get really excited, some people get confused, but let's talk about the ultimate long-term scaling strategy live on the scale method training. So go ahead, just click on any of the images that you see here, register for that free online training now. So best practices. Lookalike audience from all potential sources. Lookalike audiences and proper conversion optimization will provide you scale. Are you testing lookalike audiences and conversion optimization properly? Are you? Are you testing greater audiences compared to similar audiences? Are you testing website clicks versus conversion? Do you know the difference in the numbers between your conversion and your website clicks, and why? It's okay, it's either yes or no. But again, these questions are all for you, so you really know what to do next. So you want to jump back a level? You want to go talk to Ian? You want to go see Brian over the beginner section? Or register for a free upcoming online training. You can click on that live logo right there and come check out our absolutely free training. You're going to love this, I promise. Next steps to implementation. Well, let's go ahead and talk here with Gene on what are the next best steps to implementation for you geniuses. Well, it's all about proof, right? That's what's going to drive all of our numbers and all of our facts. Each of the 12 steps is comprised of a KPI driver and metric. So you know exactly what to do from one step to the next. All right, so for example, step number 4, where we're setting up some of the retargeting stuff, each step requires a KPI, but you want to know what are those KPI drivers and what are those small little things that you can do that control and drive everything else. And we've documented each step with video, documents, templates, KPI guidelines. I mean, some of it's a 2-minute video, some of it's a 10-minute video, some of it's an hour-long deep dive, but we have all the documentation to give you so you understand how to do this all on your own step by step. We also have 3 different levels broken out for big ideas: beginner, intermediate, and genius. So depending on your level, you know exactly what to do next. Let me give you an example. You see here the benchmarks on the right-hand side, B, I, G. As a beginner, it tells you exactly what to do. At the bottom, if you're running a dark post, how much of your budget should be dedicated to dark post. Intermediate, genius level. Well, also, if you're testing and your numbers are off, what do you test for? Well, the first thing you test for, as you see right in the middle, is relevance. Well, how do you change your relevance? Go over to split test. Start testing images first, then headline second, body third, placement fourth. Once you figure that out, then try to figure out on engagement and then next steps to actions. We show you exactly what to test for and what to split for. If you really want to understand the strategy of what we're talking about, we give you a 10,000 foot view on the actual strategy for every specific step. And we talk about specific strategies and tactics. So it's great to know the strategy, but what the heck do you do to implement it? Well, we're going to show you step by step what the key takeaways are to keep moving you forward. And we're going to give you links to resources, to people that we use, tools that we use, resources that we use. We're going to show you exactly where to go to next to keep you moving forward. We're even going to talk about case studies, real life case studies, where there are people just like you, where you get to hear about problems and then solutions of how they fixed it. Momentum steps. Every step of the 12-step process here, we're going to give you a momentum step for moving from one to another. You're going to know exactly what to do next. You'll never be stuck. And how do I know that? Well, do you have a written out plan on how to scale your ads and business in the next 6 months? I mean, I know lots of people want to scale their business, but I know a lot of people don't write down on how or what they're going to do to get there. They just become frustrated. Either they stop or they give up or they procrastinate. So do you have a written out plan? If you don't, it's okay, but you know that you need to now. You know that you're required to now. Really, I should say you know that you deserve to right now. Remember, you're going to receive a digital copy of the mind map steps 1 through 5 when you join us on the upcoming live training. Now, you're going to get it for attending the training, not just for opting in, because I want to go over the first 5 steps with you, but that's going to take you through beginner and intermediate. And I'm also going to pay you $1,000 for just applying scale to your business and being successful with it. I'll explain all the details in the live training. I also want to introduce you to the genius staff that we have here. I mean, they're genius experts. You're going to meet Shecky just a little bit more. He takes care of all consulting and accountability, and Nick with tracking, technology, design, Google Analytics. Nick's just an amazing business partner. You're going to love him when you meet him. And of course, the amazing Ashley, which we also lovingly call Pepper. She's your resource concierge. Again, I'm going to introduce you to all these people on the free online live training. Just go ahead and click on the logo on the left-hand side. Also, there are people that have been instrumental in our success in helping build out our funnels, learning LinkedIn, learning YouTube, Google Analytics, learning better email copy, how to advertise with video online, how to advertise with press releases, how to ask our customers better questions and surveys, and industry-leading experts that I've interviewed. We're going to give you access to some of their steps and why some of these people have changed our lives. I'm going to show you the people that we leverage and use. Also, the Genius Society. This is a society of people just like you and I, where we meet on a weekly basis to go over ads, scaling strategies, landing pages, next steps, numbers. We also have a Voxer group where we talk on a regular basis, almost on a daily basis. I mean, there are lots of other people just like you out there where we get together in an online community, an amazing online community. We collaborate, share ideas, hopes, aspirations. We turn hopes into dreams. We make this stuff really, really happen, and we do it together. I want to highly encourage you. Go ahead and click on any of these screens you see here at the bottom left-hand side. Go ahead and attend our free upcoming online training. I absolutely assure you you're going to love this. And of course, we always want to give you the ability and the option to choose. So if you want to jump back and spend some time with Ian, go ahead and do that. If you want to go spend some time with Brian over in the beginner section, definitely go ahead and go do that. Or if you are ready right now to start applying some of the content that I've given you, start apply it now. Register for our live training and come with your questions. Come talk to us about your ads. Tell us what you've been testing. Tell us what you learned from this training. It's a free online training to find out more on how we can help you. So there you go. We are all ready. We are set to take this thing off. Join us on our upcoming live scale training.